Tonight on Pissdrinker, Pretty Things, Beer and Ale Project, Babayaga Export Stout, or they rate it as a Sylvan Stout. Babayaga is the Eastern European or Russian Slavic folklore about a hut that's on chicken's legs. You can see it's a little hut with some chicken's legs on there. The name of the witch that lived in there is Babayaga, I believe. And I don't know. It's a rosemary and smoked malt stout. And I don't know if that makes it especially Baba-Yaga-y or Slavic. But what they do is just smoke a very small portion of the malt with some rosemary at the same time. So it's smoked rosemary. And put that in the beer. It doesn't make an overwhelmingly smoky flavor, I don't remember. But it's 7% alcohol in the style of an export stout that's like the Guinness export, which is actually the only good Guinness product, I think. And that one's 7.5, a little bit stronger. I'm pretty excited because I don't remember if I had it last year. And since I've had the Fuma Papa and Barba Papa, I realized that I really like the Pretty Things style dark beers. They make them in a very European way, especially how they don't use loads of American hops that I'm not a fan of, mixed with all of the bitter, dark roasted malt flavor. This one, they say, is at 48.5 IBUs, very dark brown. We'll see about that. They have pale roasted malts and I guess rye in here, and then Bramling Cross, which is an English hop, I believe, and then Pearl, which is a traditional German Bohemian noble hop. So no American hops. You probably heard the. This is pretty fresh. It was bottled a little under a month ago, I believe. And let's see. I bet it's a little bit darker than very dark brown. I don't know. I can see a little bit through it. It's not just all about being burnt. And I feel like the rosemary and the smoke is in there, and it has a good amount of char. When you hold it up to the light, it's still not, I'm not seeing much coming through it. The head is not super dark, it's just a nice tan color. It looks a little bit paler on the camera, I think, because of the light here. The aroma is fresh. It smells almost gruity a little bit. And I guess a lot of gruits are probably darker brown there these days. Gruits are beers that were brewed with herbs and other spices and twigs and such instead of hops. And that's what using the rosemary brings into this beer, but it's not an intense rosemary aroma, which I get with some beers that use like lots of rosemary and lavender and chamomile and all the things like that. I think the smoking mellows it all a little bit and lets it kind of meld with the roasty flavor too, but it has a very fresh smell. It's a little bit minty. But it's not, the aroma is, it's too woodsy and herbal to really have a sweet chocolatey coffee element to it. Well, there's definitely some kind of roastiness like chicory or something in there, but it's not a cappuccino-y sort of dark beer, in my opinion. If you got a cappuccino and smelled like this, it'd be like, what? Did they accidentally throw some tea in here or something? It smells very great, actually. It doesn't seem to be too thick. There's some legs on it, but it just, in the glass, it's not, like, on the edges of it, if I hold it up to the light, I can see it's pretty brown. So let's give it a try. on the finish of the taste, you get more super 100% dark chocolate in there. And it's a little bit of a dark iced coffee finish, but the front end, the aroma and the first taste is that really woodsy, deep rosemary smoked influence there, but it's not quite meaty. It's very dry. Not a super full body on this one. Not syrupy at all. Like even some really giant imperial stouts that seem overall dry or still have the stickiness to it. I'm not getting really any of that. Some people might not be happy about the sort of medium body of this one. They expect, oh, every single stout has to just be all about super intense burnt roast and huge body. But I don't think that's true. This one does seem like it's very English, except for the whole rosemary and smoked malt. I don't think the English actually use smoked malt very often. I could be wrong about that, but you think of Bamberg and the beechwood smoked malts in Germany before you think of England. Like there's like maybe some of the barley wines, and also Scotch ales are known. Or wee heavies are known in Scotland for being smoky, but most of the ones made in Scotland don't have smoked malt in it. That's kind of an American thing. They're like, oh, Scotch ale, Scotch, smoky, so they throw in peat smoked malt, but that's rarely done actually in Scotland. That's why I think this is a little bit more of an English idea of a stout. Except for how dry it is. A little bit of a red grape thing. Not quite red wine, maybe a little red winey. This beer, it almost seems like it's been oak aged or something because of the intense woodsy quality of the smoked rosemary. Well, I know it hasn't been, and I don't think it really needs that. It'd probably be a little overloaded on the woodsy qualities if you did that. It's not my favorite beer, but it's really unique and enjoyable. This is what's special about Pretty Things. It's like you're getting some really rare, special beer from Europe, but we're getting it fresh for reasonable prices in the Boston area. And I really appreciate that. And this is really very different from their Barba Papa and Fuma Papa, which are almost twice as strong, 12%. And those are all about espresso, mocha sort of flavors. Well, this one, they say 48.5% or 48.5 IBUs and international bittering units, but I don't get much bitterness. And the lack of having a full body makes this seem, it's more drinkable. And it's not overly roasty. It's not sort of an attack on your taste buds, but it's got plenty of unique flavors to make it very worthwhile to try out. And it seems somewhat medicinal, but in a good way, like it's some special elixir made to fortify you, but not just, get you drunk and give you a headache like a giant thick stout would. Like the herbal aspects are invigorating. And there's a good amount of carbonation. I wouldn't say it's high though. It's about medium. And the rosemary is clear, but it's not too strong. It's very well made. I would probably give this one 7.75 out of 10. Yeah, let's do that. So Pretty Things Babayaga export stout. Something's boiling over on the stove.